So I'm looking forward to sharing these next things with you. And I want to give a heads up to the scribblers and the note takers amongst us, because as I alluded to in the notification about today's service, the number 12 is important, because in the similar way that we were talking about the gates in Rome, the auspicious and the ways of entering and leaving were considered important to think about and be mindful of. So that's really where we're headed today. So there are 12, I want to call them almost meditations, but they're not, but just 12 things for all of us to pay attention to. It'd be a lovely thing to finish today's service and then just spend some time today reflecting on them, because this, of course, is the end of the 12th day of the first month of January, named after Janus, of course. So there'll be 12 little pauses that we'll take, and one, of course, for each month. And here we are, we're in the starting gate. And I would like to, first of all, give a shout out to another one of my great teachers. Some of you may even know her. Her name is Barbara Bijou. She's based in New York City, and she was a great, great teacher to me, especially in seminary, because one of her expertise or areas of speciality is on ritual. And so I have her book, The Joy of Ritual, and she's spoken deeply into my life over the years. So I'm inspired by her because she likes to lead the people who follow her through a meditative process in the first 12 days of January. Now, we don't have that luxury, but we do have 12 little moments that we can share with one another. So I'm going to go, and I'm just going to call them day 1, day 2, day 3, because they represent the different months. So before we do that, I do want to add something that Barbara taught me many years ago, and it really helped me, because I'd never had, actually, that's not true. I'd had one when I was living in London. I had a panic attack, and I'm not the kind of person who would ever consider myself someone prone to these. I ended up in hospital not knowing what it was. I thought I was having a heart attack, but it ended up being a panic attack. And she taught me this trick about just sort of finding an area in your body that feels like where your heart chakra might be, and just to tap it 3 times. Any time where you want to just sort of calm and regulate yourself. So that's something else, a gift that I'd like to give you, because I mean, I remember during COVID is the second time that I had it. And I was feeling alone. I was isolated in the Netherlands. I was far from all my family and my friends, and I got it really badly there. And I just remember walking downstairs sometimes, and I would just say to Barbara, "Oh, thank you, Barbara, for giving me this tool." So I want to share that with you, because it may be useful for you as we enter this year together. All right, so here we go. Day 1. The theme for day 1 is gratitude. So gratitude for everything that we have in our lives, our bodies, our homes, the people that make up our friends, our family, our communities, our neighborhoods. Gratitude for so much, for our gifts, our talents, our minds, our creativity, our connectedness to all that is, including to Mother Earth. Gratitude for the animals that we love or have loved. Just to say, on this day 1, representing that first month, that first step into 2025, thank you. And a beautiful practice is to bless everything that you see, everything that you encounter on any particular day, just to sort of make it a practice. And as Barbara reminds us, the more we plant the seeds of appreciation, the more will come back to us. Day 2, the theme is love. Bringing in and strengthening love in our lives. and of course, the source of all love. It is around us all the time. And sometimes to imagine it, Barbara says, almost to imagine it when you close your eyes, like a great ball of light above your head, and it's connecting directly to your heart. And it's allowing moments to allow it to touch us, to enter our beings. Because of course, it's unconditional love. And there's nothing that we have to do. All we're asked is to receive it. And also, it enables us, and this is sometimes the hardest part of our journey, funnily enough, is to love and accept ourselves. Wouldn't you agree? Just the way we are. The more that we accept ourselves, the more we attract positively into our lives. And of course, as we know from the Buddhist and Hindu traditions about sending love energy out all the time. For those of you who are fans of Sharon Salzberg, she's a great meditative teacher of mine, and I'm sure of many of us in our community. She has a beautiful meditation on sending out love to all beings everywhere. So Google her. I think it's a very short one. It's only like 2 minutes. Make that your friend this year. Send out love to yourself, to all those around you. Day 3, about abundance. We already have it. That's the clincher. Abundance is already ours. And anything that has brought you happiness, appreciate it. The more appreciation, of course, the more we open ourselves to more abundance. And I love what Barbara teaches here. Abundance is knowing that you are abundance. How cool is that? Abundance is just knowing that we already are abundance. And she says, and I love this idea, to own our own value. Because to not, by any words where we block the abundance, it can be in our thoughts, in our words, in our memories, in our habits, our fears, especially around money. These are things that can be blockages to us. And this is where the blockage brings that sense of lack. So she's saying, pause and make room. Pause and make room. 10 times for what it was before. And just to say, whenever you can, whenever you feel the grip, the icy grip of fear, 3 times on the chest, and just say, I am abundance. Day 4 is about balance. I don't know where on the spectrum you might fall on this, but are you someone who takes too much time planning, organizing, and trying to control your life? Or are you at the opposite end where you don't plan at all and you just deal with whatever shows up or is in front of you at any given moment? It's important, of course, to find the balance in between those 2 ways, between action and stillness. And Barbara encourages us to look at our relationship to change. Are you pushing for change always, or are you resisting it? Where on that spectrum do you find yourself? And the thing to do for balance is always to use the breath to bring back to the middle. It's that median point inside all of us. To breathe in balance and breathe out anything that's imbalanced. And to take time for both action and rest, work and play. I know where I am on that spectrum, and that's a huge challenge for me in this year. It's going to be something I'm going to really focus on, about not tipping too far into the action, but just bringing it back into the middle. Because what is on the outer, of course, as we know, is reflected in the inner, and what's in the inner is reflected in the outer. So even just one small thing to focus on will help. Day number 5, and I know there are many amongst us who are this way inclined, creativity. The next time you hear yourself say, that's impossible, stop yourself. I can't do that. Stop yourself. Notice it, acknowledge it, and then let it go, because it's not true. I love this idea of breathing in ideas. And as we do, expanding our mind and having fun, letting the 3-year-old out in us. I remember when I took a road trip on Highway 1, all the way from Los Angeles, all the way up to the top of the state of California. And I remember remarking to my friend that I was with, if you ever notice if a car pulls over and a family did, as I saw one day, one assumes the father of the family gets out of the car and he's leaning against the car and he says, this is his time for a cigarette. Meanwhile, the mother is taking one of the child that needs to go and pee out to the side of the road to find somewhere to go and pee. And what I noticed was the little girl, probably 3, maybe 4, what did she do? She wasn't peeing, she wasn't smoking, she wasn't sitting in the car. She was just doing cartwheels on the grass. And I said to my friend, when did we lose that? When as adults did we lose that? We get a few moments to ourselves. Why don't we do cartwheels or something the equivalent of cartwheels? And that is the challenge of this. I read recently that even Da Vinci carried a notebook, because when he got ideas, he scribbled them down. And of course, half of what we know about Da Vinci is his little scribbles of ideas, and what a game changer he was. So this is about allowing new ideas and creativity to emerge. Day 6 is communication. In Latin, that word means make common. So in other words, communication is taking what's inside you and making it common, so that making yourself understood. And of course, in order to do that, there's a reciprocity involved, because of course, in order to communicate, you need to have someone to listen to you. And I think that listening, as we would all agree, is probably a dying art. So making a conscious effort this year to become a good listener, not to interrupt, but to pay attention and to give people time and listen to their words and the meaning inside the words and the meaning that you'll see in their body, in their eyes, in their general aura, and not to make assumptions, because people often, if you'll let them, surprise you. And I love this question that she asked. If you had 5 uninterrupted minutes with a captive audience, what would you like them to know about you? And why? Interesting question. Day 7 is about fun. As we know, the physical benefits of fun, anything that we do that brings us joy, it's undisputed. It's a scientific certainty. And feeling this way makes us want to be with people and to collaborate. Not feeling this way, of course, makes us often want to withdraw. So if we were to put aside our adult complications and our cynicism sometimes, and invite our younger self into the space of this year, and we were to talk to that younger self and ask them, what was it that brought you hours and hours and hours of unmitigated joy? Would it be bike riding, building, Legos, drawing, playing hula hoops, skipping with your friends, whatever it might have been that you could have done as a younger self, just to tune into that and remind your older self that you have the capacity for that still. What can I do to have more fun? Is a question that she asks us to ask ourselves for this year. And be open to the answer, what would that younger self say to you? I choose fun and joy this year, because life, with all its demands and challenges, still is and can be a wonderful adventure. Day 8 is our body. And how we treat it, of course, is crucial. It's our home. And we're taking custodianship of and building a strong home for our spirit, our essence, whatever you want to call it. Basic questions. Are we exercising enough? Are we getting enough sleep? Are we breathing in fresh air? Are we having physical contacts with other people? Whatever that might look like. Hugs, being in close proximity to those that you enjoy, a massage, I don't know, but any way of just saying to your body, thank you, and making a commitment to nurturing it. And when you do mindfully, to breathe life into your organs, your bones, your muscles, your tendons, your bloodstream, is there anywhere in you that needs extra support? And breathe in that vital life energy. And of course, to attend to all the chakras within us so that they become vital and balanced. And do something this year to show commitment to this, because it is our home for however long we are allowed to be in it. Day 9 is making space. You cannot bring the new until you make space for it. Unfortunately, it's a universal principle. And one of my teachers, August Gold, who was a profound influence on my life as I was finding my way, especially in interfaith, she always used to say this: don't ask life to shrink for you. Ask life to expand you for it. How cool is that? Hard to do, but it's an essential thing that it's good for us to learn how to do it. Clear out what no longer serves. What can you give away from your home that you're not using anymore? What can you share? How could you make space? If you want something new, get anything and literally make a physical space for it. It's similar to having a garden. Looking at the garden, where are the weeds choking? Where do I need to clear ground to plant for the new? And now this is a good question. What would I like to plant in this new ground? And I love that Jewish principle of, and I'll have to ask people like Deborah afterwards, but I can't remember if is it Leviticus, when you're told to leave an area at the side of the field. You're not allowed to plant it. You just gotta let it wild, just let it be. And it's a similar principle, because as my old friend used to say, make as many plans as you like, but always leave a little room at the side for the magic to happen, because new opportunities are waiting. Day 10 is our practice, how we show up every day. I love that Barbara says, and this is her daily practice, she says every day, I am light. I am light. She's making a strong and powerful connection between the physical self and that which is beyond us. And she says, I am protected, I am illumined, and I am sustained by this light. And it's her mantra. I am protected, I am illumined, I am sustained by this light. And she says it's like a spiritual B12 shot. I could go for that. So now the last two. Day 11. sharing your unique gifts. The more that we believe in ourselves and follow our hearts, the more we are able to give to the world around us. Barbara issues a little challenge. She says, just in your own mind's eye, just imagine sitting in a room and you're sitting on a chair and you're surrounded by all the people who love and respect you. And one by one, each of those people come to you and tell you what it is that they admire about you or enjoy about you and what impact you've had on their lives. And this, of course, is real. They're not just saying it. They're sharing what is true. And the hardest thing, of course, is to being open to both hear it and receive it. And so Barbara's saying the challenge, imagine, put yourself there, allow them to speak to you and really let them in. And if you want to afterwards, if you get time today and you want to do this, write down what you think they might say about you. It's an amazing exercise to do. And anytime you feel resistance, to notice it, breathe into it, breathe out, tap, and watch it dissolve. And the question to ask yourselves, if you could do anything to express what you know you love and you're good at, what would it be? What would it be for this year? And finally, before we take that step through the gate, through the Janus, through this time of, or this auspicious time of preparing for that which is ahead, just look around. Remember that Janus is looking forward, but it's also looking back. And here's the looking back part. Completion is this word. What needs to be tied up, finished, completed before initiating anything that you want to begin this year? Because in a way, sort of energetically, you can't launch into the new until you've really properly dealt with and finished and tied up what was in the past. Are there people that you might need to speak to in whatever way feels comfortable? Are there projects that are left undone? I know I've got 2 of them hanging over my head, and trust me, these words are landing very heavily with me too. Things that are unfinished. Are there things that need to be reorganized around you, maybe restructured, something that needs to be tidied? Small, doable steps is all that's necessary. Small actions to finish in order to start. So in summary, I think I'd like to share these 3 last thoughts. Let go of all judgments and expectations of yourself and others. To remember that change happens in small, consistent ways. And most importantly, as we walk through that gate into the year, hoping that we might be able to close the doors because peace has come, whether that's peace inwardly or peace outwardly, that this is your year, your life, and may you enjoy the journey. Thank you.
If you like this video, please like us on YouTube, subscribe to our YouTube channel, and click on the bell to be notified whenever we post a new video. Thank you.